Vikas Dubey, the UP gangster behind the cold-blooded killing of 8 policemen last week, was killed in an encounter after a road accident this morning while being taken to Kanpur in UP from Madhya Pradesh, where he was arrested yesterday. The police have said that Vikas Dubey snatched the gun of a policeman and tried to run, but he was surrounded. The police then assert that they tried to get him to surrender, but he didn't and began firing. He was rushed to hospital, they say, where he was declared dead. So let's take a look at the police's version of this encounter. So they say around 7 a.m. a vehicle which was carrying Dubey and 4 police officers was headed to Kanpur. They say the vehicle that was carrying this gangster overturned around 30 kilometers from Kanpur, and Dubey and the 4 cops who were travelling with him were injured when this car overturned. And the task force claims that this car overturned because there was a herd of cows and buffaloes on the road. After this, the police claims that Vikas Dubey snatched a revolver and escaped. He got out of this upturned car. Cops in the car with him also got out, and a chase ensued, and the injured gangster along with these other cops, all of them injured, the cops began chasing him. The police say they then surrounded Dubey and they asked him to surrender, but instead Dubey fired at the policeman. The police fired in retaliation. Dubey was injured in the process. He was then taken to the Lala Lajpat Rai hospital, and around 7:40 a.m. An IPS officer confirmed Dubey's death in an encounter. But questions have now been raised over Vikas Dubey's encounter and the death. Questions like, why was a dangerous criminal like Dubey not handcuffed? Why were the weapons of the police accompanying Dubey not secured? How did Dubey snatch a weapon and manage to escape from an overturned car? Questions have also been raised about why the media was stopped 2 kilometers from the encounter site. And last but not the least, why was Vikas Dubey's car switched minutes before this encounter? Because he was pictured, or the car that he was travelling in was pictured in 2 toll plazas, but it was a different car that Dubey was travelling in then, and not the car that was overturned just minutes before this encounter.
There's a huge crowd of locals here where the encounter of Vikas Dubey took place, where he died in that encounter earlier in the morning. Some of them are raising a few questions about what has happened. आपका नाम क्या है भैया?
उमेश कुमार यादव।
उमेश जी, अभी आप कुछ कह रहे थे, कुछ आपके मन में संदिग्ध चीजें हैं क्या?
ये है, गाड़ी वहाँ से स्पीड में आ रही है, हाँ। तो यहाँ से टक्कर हुआ, तो ये डिवाइडर टूटा क्यों नहीं? हाँ। ये डिवाइडर टूटता तो गाड़ी उधर जाके पलटी होती, हाँ। डिवाइडर टूटा नहीं।
We are around 30 kilometers outside the Kanpur town right now. This is where that supposed encounter in which Vikas Dubey died has taken place. Alam is just going to move ahead and show you this TUV. This is a Mahindra TUV. And you can see that in front there is a shattered glass, and also this vehicle is overturned. Now the police version of the sequence of events is that around 7:30 a.m. in the morning, this car that was carrying Vikas Dubey, the gangster, and 4 other policemen, probably belonging to the STF unit of the police, overturned here on the highway that leads to Kanpur from Jhansi. When this car overturned, and you can see the state it is in, Vikas Dubey somehow managed to walk out of here, also with a police revolver, and escaped. There were other cars that were accompanying this one, and the policemen in this car, though injured, the police says, all of them gave chase. At a point of time, they managed to surround Vikas Dubey, and once they surrounded Vikas Dubey, they asked him to surrender. Vikas Dubey, they claim, instead whipped out the pistol that he had stolen from the cops from this overturned vehicle, and he then pointed it at the cops and started firing, and that is when the police had to fire back in retaliation, and that's when Vikas Dubey was killed. That is the police version. Now, of course, you can see over here that there is a lot of crowd, mostly media people, and a lot of policemen here too. We are told that a crane will reach here and take this Jeep or SUV away from here. But those are the sequence of events that the police is talking about. You can see the state of the car. Must have been a very serious accident for Vikas Dubey to have walked out of this car with a police pistol in hand and have to run away. Seems to be, well, incredible if nothing else. But at the moment, Vikas Dubey, the gangster, is dead. Right now, what you see over here is an attempt by the government to actually, by the police to actually bring in a crane and get this vehicle towed away from here. This is the SUV 500, or TUV 300, I'm sorry. The SUV in which Vikas was traveling when the incident happened. As these visuals play out of this crane actually towing away the car, I want to speak about the unanswered questions. You know, there are a host of unanswered questions. Number one, 3 hours before the encounter happened, Vikas Dubey was pictured at the Jhansi toll plaza in a Tata Safari, in a different car. Why were cars switched? Why did he end up traveling in this SUV or in this TUV 300? That is something that needs to be answered. As we look at these visuals of the crane trying to take the SUV away, the other question that needs answers is why the media contingent that was actually trailing Vikas Dubey, why that media contingent was stopped a while ago before this encounter actually took place. You can see these shots of this vehicle now being towed away, and this is something that you can see right now, this vehicle being towed away from here. So why was that done? Why was the media stopped earlier? An eyewitness also told some reporters here that he had heard gunshots right here and that he didn't see any accident. Why did that person say that? These are all questions that need answers. There is one very, very striking aspect about this encounter in which the criminal Vikas Dubey has died. Now, look at the location where it has happened. Now, this is the Jhansi-Kanpur highway, and to this side, you will see this barrier over here that prevents the vehicle from skidding from this side to that side. But where did the vehicle overturn? It overturned at a spot where there are a lot of people right now, but there's no barrier. You can see this is a temporary police barrier that's been put up, but there's no barrier here, meaning that the car could come from here all the way, skid here, fall down, and then more conveniently, it allowed the place where this vehicle skid, it allowed Dubey to allegedly get off from the vehicle and take a country road, because there was a country road right here. So two coincidences. One, that the vehicle actually skid at a spot where there was no barrier to prevent it from overturning on the mud side of the road. And the other, that there was a country road that allowed him to run 100 meters till he was accosted by the police. So both very, very surprising. With Alam Siddiqui, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
And videos that have emerged after the youngster Vikas Dubey was shot dead this morning have reinforced these questions that Alok Pandey has raised about what the police says was an encounter when he tried to escape after a road accident. But listen to the police themselves.
विकास दुबे ने पुलिस की एक पिस्टल छीनकर भागने का प्रयास किया और उसने गोली चलाई और उसके बाद पुलिस ने जवाबी फायरिंग की। अभी तक ये सूचना हम लोगों को प्राप्त हुई है। विस्तृत कार्रवाई जनपद कानपुर में की जा रही है, इन्वेस्टिगेशन भी हो रही है, पोस्टमार्टम भी हो चुकी है। उसके पास से एक सरकारी पिस्टल 9mm जो लेकर वो भागा था, वो बरामद हुआ।
कानपुर नगर भौती के पास प्रातः 6:30 बजे पुलिस के उक्त वाहन दुर्घटनाग्रस्त होकर पलट गया, जिससे उसमें बैठे अभियुक्त व पुलिसजन घायल हो गए। इस दौरान अभियुक्त विकास दुबे उपरोक्त ने घायल पुलिसकर्मी की पिस्टल छीनकर भागने की कोशिश की। पुलिस टीम द्वारा पीछा कर उसे घेर कर आत्मसमर्पण करने को कहा गया, किंतु वह नहीं माना। पुलिस टीम द्वारा जान से मारने की नियत से वो पुलिस टीम पे फायर करने लगा। पुलिस द्वारा आत्मरक्षार्थ जवाबी फायरिंग की गई। उपरोक्त विकास दुबे घायल हो गया, जिसे तत्काल ही इलाज हेतु अस्पताल ले जाया गया, जहां इलाज के दौरान उसकी मृत्यु हो गई। वो 4 सिविल पुलिस के लोग घायल हैं, जिसमें 3 सब इंस्पेक्टर हैं, एक कांस्टेबल है तथा एसटीएफ के 2 कमांडो को भी गंभीर चोटें आई हैं।